Don't cross the yellow tape.
Please, I was going to tell you that.
You can still kind of see the indent.
You know what else? He was resting on the snow, not the pavement. The layer under where they removed him is still there. So, if we can figure out when that hard-pack layer came in, we can estimate when he was left here. Let's see, first snow was...
Thursday at around 3 a.m.
What?
Thursday, we had 6 inches overnight, but a heavy cloud layer warmed us up. It was the next day, and it had melted almost to slush before clearing to lower temperatures.
You memorize weather information.
I don't memorize it. I just kind of remember it.
Uh-huh. The same way you remember the titles of all the original Star Trek episodes and the cheat codes for Tomb Raider.
Yeah, like that.
You are such a geek, Sean.
I prefer Power Nerd, thank you. And besides, it came in handy here, didn't it?
Point taken. Okay, so Mystery Man lay down on this spot in the middle of that snowfall. How long would it have taken to cover him up?
Couple hours, maybe. Most of the snow was put here by a plow.
And the plow guy wouldn't have noticed?
Probably not. Plow guy comes by 5 or 6 in the morning. That's 2 hours after the snow falls. And it's still dark besides.
We should check when the first flight of the day goes overhead.
First commercial flight's 7:30. Oh, like you don't memorize plane schedules?
Very funny. But don't you realize what we're talking about here?
What?
The only possibility that this man died accidentally was that he somehow fell from an airplane as it flew overhead. It couldn't have been a commercial flight because they would have noticed. He couldn't have fallen accidentally from a private plane because the pilot would have reported it.
What if he was, sneaking into the country? You ever heard that story about the guy who climbed in the wheel wells of an airplane and then he froze to death?
Yeah, and I heard that one about the scuba diver dropped onto a forest fire, too. They're all bogus, Sean. Besides, the wheel wells of those small planes aren't big enough to hide a person.
So, that only leaves one option.
The only way a man underdressed for the weather, with no shoes yet, could have ended up here was to be pushed out of a plane. Sean, this guy was murdered.
May I ask what you are doing here?
Who are you?
What are you doing here?
We were looking at the snowbank.
Students at the school are to stay away from this area.
Yeah, we understand that, but we...
Students at the school are to stay away from this area. Your principal made an announcement.
Our father's the...
Your principal made an announcement.
Bobby, this isn't right.
Did you hear him walk up?
No, that's what I mean. It was like he appeared out of thin air, and the way he's talking.
And do you understand, children?
Children?
Students are to stay away from this area.
You know, it occurs to me...
That we should really...
Get out of here. Yeah, excuse us.
Yeah, sorry.
Students are to stay away from this area.
Right. In fact...
Our principal made an announcement.
The principal made an announcement.
That's what we heard. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, right. See ya. That was creepy.
Yeah.
I think we should...
Right. We need to talk to Dad as soon as possible.
I understand that. I just want an explanation.
Can I help you two kids?
Were Sean and Bobby Regal?
We're here to see our dad.
Your father's very busy right now.
That's not an explanation. That's just ridiculous.
Whoa.
You kids shouldn't be here. It's been very tense all
Hey,
day.
who's out there?
It's Sean and Becky.
Bobby!
I'll send them
No,
home.
I've got a minute.
You have Mr. Pearson on line 2 and the sheriff's conference call in 10
Take a
minutes.
message from Pearson and send in my kids. I've got 10 minutes.
Well, okay, if you think so.
Yes, I think so.
Can we go in now?
Well, you heard him. Don't stand around wasting my time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Come in and shut that door.
What's up, Dad?
Yeah, you look different.
That's because at home I work hard to keep my temper in check. I don't always have that luxury at work.
What's going on?
Nothing worth worrying about. What brings you two guys down here?
Dad, something weird's happening at school. We were looking out at the crime scene
We were
today.
looking, we didn't touch.
Right, and this really weird guy came.
Like straight out of Men in Black with this pasty skin and bad-fitting suit and... the way he talked.
It was like he was from outer space.
Right.
He kept warning us that we had to keep away from the crime scene, and he said the principal had made an announcement when I'm pretty sure he hadn't.
No, we didn't make an announcement.
And he called us children!
Children, go back to class. Just like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, Doesn't that seem weird?
Back up a second. What were the two of you doing out at the crime scene anyway?
Just looking at it.
Why?
All right, Dad, I know where you're gonna go with this.
Yeah,
but
I imagine you would by now, Sean.
You're always telling us that we need to quit sticking our nose into other people's business and everything, but this is really important. Dad, we think the man in the snowbank was murdered.
Really?
Yes.
And what do you plan to do about it?
Well, just check it out.
And what exactly did your mother and I warn you about after last time?
Launching a lot of harebrained investigations that could get us into trouble?
Into trouble with the police, specifically?
But Dad, the man in black...
Oh, Sean, don't call him that.
He wasn't a cop.
And how do you know that?
Well...
Uh-huh. Now, listen to me, both of you. This case is now federal, for reasons I'd rather not go into with you right now. It's enough for me to tell you that man was placed near the crime scene because the crime scene is 50 feet away from a high school. The place has 500 kids. They'd troop all over the place if it wasn't guarded. You are to do everything they say, especially when they say to keep your distance. You understand?
You're looking kind of flushed again, Dad.
Thanks for your concern, Sean. Do you understand?
Yes. Wait a minute, did you say this was a federal case now?
That's right, Bobby, it is.
Well, does that mean you won't be prosecuting it?
Oh, I'm sorry I won't. And I'm sorry that means I won't be able to give you all the inside info I'd promised.
But...
Bobby, please, look, I'm as frustrated about this as you are.
Almost makes you want to start your own investigation, doesn't it, Dad?
No, Sean, it does not. And if I can stand it, you can, right?
Yes, Dad. Sorry.
That's okay. Head home. I bet you forgot to tell your mom you were coming down here.
Yeah, we did.
See you, Daddy.
See you at home in a little while. Oh, and, tell Mom I'm going to be after 7 tonight.
Okay. She won't be happy.
Tell her neither am I.
Okay. Okay, what do you think?
Dad's a county prosecutor, right?
Right.
I think I want to find out what federal agencies have taken over this investigation and why they don't want the county prosecutor to be involved.
Excuse me, do either of you have a light?
No. What I don't understand...
How about you? You got a light?
We don't smoke.
And it's illegal to smoke in a public building in Minnesota.
No kidding. Thanks for the tip.
No problem. Can we help you with something?
Oh, don't mind me. Just go on talking.
Who are you?
Nobody.
Wait, is that a press credential?
Oh, I always forget to take that thing off.
Maggie Nordland. She works for the Post.
That's right.
She wrote that article about the parking problem at the high school.
But there is no parking problem at the high school.
That's what made it such a great article. You're Jim Riegel's kids, aren't you?
Come on, Bobby.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, but our father wouldn't like us talking to you.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. Definitely. Riegel put gag order on own children.
What? Wait a minute!
And they seem slightly upset.
You're putting words in our mouth.
I'm observing. It's what a good reporter does.
Come on, Bobby. Let's let this crook write whatever she wants.
Just wait a minute. What are you after exactly?
Same thing you are, Bobby. If I may call you Bobby.
No.
Look, we both want the truth. We both want to know what's going on. And I'll tell you what. I've been covering police and courts in this town for 3 years. And I've never seen things shut up as tight as they are right now.
Really?
Really. Something's definitely up and I'm stuck on the outside.
So,
has it occurred to you, young Master Riegel, that the three of us might have a similar problem? All of us want to know what's going on, and we're all being shut out.
what makes you think that makes any difference to us?
You're the Riegels. Everybody in town knows you can't help snooping around stuff like this.
Bobby, we shouldn't even be talking to
Dad
her.
never said we couldn't.
He said we shouldn't tell anyone.
And we haven't told her anything yet, have we?
Told me what?
Miss Nordland, you have to understand our father did tell us to keep a lid on some things.
Of course.
And we couldn't possibly share information with a member of the press.
No, I see that.
Without working out some kind of agreement.
Bobby!
Just be quiet a second.
You will get us into so much trouble.
Were you going to keep it to yourself? Seriously. Were you not going to tell anybody about what we saw?
Well,
That's what I thought.